Getting the Platinum Trophy for Dark Souls 1 is amazing. With a total of 41 trophies including the Platinum, it might take around 50 or 70 hours. I mean, the last time I platinumed the Soulsborne game was Demon Souls, but you have to wait until the end of the video. But is this game actually 8 out of 10 difficulty like a trophy guy says? Well, let's find out. Just like Demon Souls, like before you start off the game you get to create your character. For me, I chose the Sorcerer class and the Master Key as my starting gift. So the journey begins here in Northern Undead Asylum, where you get locked up in a jail cell until you find this corpse, and when you pillage the corpse, you'll find this dungeon cell key, which you can get out. And then I get my first trophy for lighting the bonfire for the first time. And then I run into this NPC who gave me those healing items known as the Estus Flask, which is helpful for this playthrough, and then I get a trophy for that.
Here, take this. An Estus Flask, an undead favorite.
And then I ran to this very first boss fight in the game called the Asylum Demon. After defeating the Silent Demon, I get transported to another location known as Lordvessel, which is the game's hub. Oh, and I got another trophy for that. And after arriving at the hub, I talked to this guy for joining his covenant for another trophy.
Would that please you? Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
And after so much exploration, I finally get to another boss fight. But first I have to take out those two annoying archers that I had to take, because after I was fighting the boss, I get distracted by those annoying archers. After that was the Bell Gargoyle boss fight. Well, it's a 2v1 actually, because when you take down most of the Bell Gargoyle's health, the second one might spawn in. After defeating the gargoyles, I climb up to the tower and ring the bell for another trophy. I decided to get this Covenant trophy out of the way because it's going to take 25 faith, so for that I have to farm a lot of souls to upgrade my faith up by 25, and after that I kneeled to the statue and got a trophy. Now this boss fight is really intense because after you walk through this fog gate, this boss might go after you and there's no space to evade. So what it did was take out the dogs first and then just spam magic and the Capra Demon, and that's it. The boss is down. After a bit of exploring to the depths, I ran to another boss fight known as the Gaping Dragon. It's really easy. As you see here, I already cut off its tail to get the rare weapon needed for Trophy Knight's honor. After a confusing exploration of Blighttown, I went to this boss known as Quail's Witch Quaylak, and I defeated her on my second or third try. After ringing the second bell, you gain access to another area known as Sense Fortress, where lies another boss. Oh, and I got another trophy for discovering another covenant, so let's move on to Sense Fortress. Here we have Iron Golem, another boss fight right before moving on to a new location. After defeating Iron Golem, I've been transported to one of the most iconic locations. Welcome to Anor, Londo. Oh, and I also got a trophy for reaching the location. And now the hardest boss in the game so far, Ornstein and Smo. Well, two bosses actually. Oh, and I have to beat those two bosses again on No Game Plus, and it's going to be extremely hard. Because I have to get Ornstein's soul on my first playthrough, and the second playthrough get Smo's soul for upgrading different weapons. After defeating Ornstein and Smo, I talked to this lady right here. It gives me the ability to fast travel between bonfires and give me another trophy.
Father is formed it obscureth. I have awaited thee. I bequeath the Lordvessel to thee.
And then I have to talk to her again by joining her covenant, and then I get another trophy.
Sacrifices. O chosen undead, thou hast journeyed far.
And now we move on to the next area where I talk to this cat right here and join another covenant.
What does thou say? Oh. I am very glad. And now thou art one of us.
And then I get another trophy for defeating the giant wolf right here, but I have to beat him 3 times for the platinum. And then I went back to Blighttown and move on to another area in the game where I find this dragon, and talking to him I join another covenant and a trophy. Oh, and I also cut off his tail after that. And after exploring another area in the game, I caught this boss right here, and then defeating her popped me a trophy, and I also cut off her tail before defeating her. And now the most frustrating boss right here, even on New Game Plus, is 4 Kings. Now this boss right here is like have spawned so many clones, and you have to defeat him until he's dead. So my strategy right here is that I have to equip the heaviest armor I can get, and then have to use so much magic as much as possible, and then I have to upgrade my Estus Flask. After defeating the boss, I talked to this snake right here, and joining his covenant popped me another trophy.
The Dark Lord. It can preserve your humanity while undead, and cast off the shackles placed upon your brethren.
And after a bit of exploring through the catacombs, I go to this really easy boss. I beat it in my first try. For another Covenant Discovery trophy, I have to enter this coffin, and I had to talk to Gravelord Neil, which I have to beat him later in the game, but I have to join his Covenant, or else I'm missed. Oh, and you won't believe who I ran into. Yeah, Patches from Demon Souls. I still don't like it. For the final Covenant Discovery trophy, I have to kneel down right before the floodgates of the boss.
The foes of our lords, then I shall protect thee, safeguarding thy person with the power of the dark moon.
And now the Dark Sun Gwendolyn, which is not that bad though, only took me like 2 tries to beat her.
Oh, heretic, swathed in dark.
So now I have to try to upgrade as many weapons as I can to the max to get some trophies. Like there's 10 of them. For example, this raw weapon right here. So I have to upgrade this and then max out. Another annoying boss battle of Chaos right here is a one-shot boss. You have to destroy the orange cores first right before you go down, and be careful with the fire. And then when you beat him, you get a trophy. And what's even more annoying than Battle of Chaos is Seed the Scaleless. because I have to cut off the very tip of a tail for another weapon needed for the trophy. Yeah, I felt so relieved of getting that weapon, but I'm not finished with him yet. I just have to defeat him and then I get a trophy. In order to get the platinum trophy for this game, I have to find all of pyromancies, sorceries, miracles, and worst of all, rare weapons. For the last pyromancy needed for a trophy, you have to offer 30 humanity to the Daughter of Chaos, and then she'll give her that pyromancy. Oh, I almost forgot. This boss right here is also required for the platinum. I still have to beat it twice. It's a long-range boss, and it's really easy when you use magic. And then I rescue this lady and then have to buy the remaining sorceries needed for the trophy, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Here we are, the final boss in the game. After I defeat it, I have to link the fire for the good ending, and then I get a trophy. And now for the New Game Plus playthrough, and I have to find the remaining miracles and rare weapons. Now those really rare items needed to max out weapons are known as Titanite slabs. They can either be found somewhere in the game or you can farm them, but it takes a really long time to get them. So here we are once again, the Ornstein and Small boss fight in New Game Plus. So my strategy here was, I went to human form, and then I summoned Night Solaire and make this a 2v2. In order to get Smo's soul in New Game Plus, I have to defeat Ornstein first, and then I have to take out the upgraded version of Smo. So I rejoined Dark Sun Gwendolyn's Covenant once again, and I finally get to trade the souvenir of reprisal, like 10 of those, and get my last miracle needed for a trophy. While I was progressing to New Game Plus and defeat bosses required to get to the final boss, Gwen Lord of Cinder, I started finding or farming Titanite slabs for maxing out many weapons, and this is gonna get very time consuming. Now this rare weapon right here called Chandler's Trident is a huge nightmare for me, because it took me so many hours of farming to kill Chandler so many times until I finally get this weapon. After so much farming Titanite slabs and sometimes humanity, I finally get to upgrade those weapons and finally get the final boss once again. Now instead of leaking the fire once again, I decided to walk out and get the bad ending, and for a trophy. And now we're on New Game Plus Plus, and I only have to get this boss's soul for a weapon, for a trophy. Now I'm finally about to get Dark Souls 1's Platinum, but let's answer this question. Is this really the hardest Souls Platinum? Well, in my opinion, it's not. Now you gotta admit, I finally get to enjoy playing those Souls games. I mean, the soundtracks in those games are fire, even this game. Now I don't know if I should do other Souls games like Dark Souls 2 or Bloodborne, so if you would like me to do those games, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And now I finally get to modify the last 3 weapons for a trophy, and then I get the Platinum. I probably recommend Dark Souls 1 if you want to play a bigger challenge, but Demon Souls is not very challenging. I mean, it's considered the easiest Souls game of all. So if you'd like to see that video, don't forget to click here. Thank you.